Hello, I'm Johannes from Avatar, and you are live in Limbo.
Hey guys, it's Katrina, and today I'm here with Johannes from Avatar. How's it going?
Excellent, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Your new album, Feathers and Flesh, was released last year. Yeah. It's a concept album that tells the story of an owl who
just goes to war to stop the sun from rising, yes.
Yeah, that's awesome. What inspired the story?
Well, the first thing that we figured out we wanted to do was to do a concept album, because it seemed like something that we didn't know how. Mm-hmm. And we like to play this game in hard mode. So we started with that. And then came the process of figuring out what's the concept. And I went through many phases with that. But one thing that I kind of got stuck on for a while was to use, first it was supposed to be, old fairy tales, but it warped into fables with the idea of doing like pre-existing fables and rewrite them to twist the perspective. Then the idea of using something pre-existing, that went away, but the twisted perspective, like just turning the usual archetypes of a fable creature into something else, that stayed. So it was just starting to go through, like how, for instance, an owl is usually pretty wise, or among other things, and the big bad wolf is a big bad wolf, and so on. So while playing around with that, and then with twisted perspective would mean that, for instance, instead of fighting for the light, as in Star Wars, it's our protagonist is on the dark side, and so it was not a definite moment of like eureka. It was more this, it was building blocks of tiny ideas that painted a full picture.
Oh, that's awesome. So when you were writing this album, what were some challenges that you encountered when writing a concept album versus a conventional album?
Well, I don't know, like the challenge, it was at least say it was different in the way sense that we are a couple of guys in the band, that write riffs, mm-hmm. and, start doing the songs, and then we kind of finish them up together. And what we usually is pretty easy to just like for me, being the lyricist, is like, hey, I like this riff so much that I'm going to write lyrics for it now, and we try to make it into a full song. And that meant that if you do like that, you just kind of try to do a greatest hits of whatever we could think of these 3 months, and that would be an album. Yeah. Now in this case, there was an extra purpose with the songs. Aside from that, they had to be kick-ass metal and just be good. They also had to make sense with what the story we were telling. Yeah. So suddenly you didn't just look for that kick-ass crunchy groovy riff. You also listened for that fish riff or that bird riff, or Yeah. So there were other things. I was looking for specific emotions in what we were writing, and still we were writing the music kind of independently of that, at least to begin with. To just It all boils down to, if you want to do a metal album, you have to try to make, the best riffs you can. Yeah. So you never get away from that. But you were looking for specific emotions in those musical parts, mm-hmm. when piecing it together with the story that was growing.
And you guys also released a 60-page book to go along with it as well. So how did you guys plan out that? Because was it just like the lyrics, more explanations for the lyrics?
Yeah, no, because the fable is being told in the lyrics and also in this long poem. Mm-hmm. I got the Divine Comedy by Dante Alighieri, and thought I was going to be a guy who read that book. Then I never finished it, but I was into. I am into when you use poetry, a rhyme or whatever to tell us a story, mm-hmm. a full-fledged story. That older way of doing it. Yeah, and so I wanted to do that. And it just reached a point where original was just supposed to be like liner notes and a booklet for mm-hmm. Together with the lyrics, but it just the body of work became so much that it didn't quite feel right. It didn't feel like we would be treating the words with the respect they deserved if we just slammed them into a tiny booklet. That they required an actual book, and that is because that is what this story is.
Yeah. That's cool. I also want to talk about your music video for The Eagle Has Landed. That was really cool. You guys built a 360-degree set and did it in one take.
Yeah.
So how long did it take to plan out something like that and execute it?
Planning exactly, I don't really remember. I know that building, rehearsing, recording, tearing down, that was a week's work, and we do it usually very punk rock. We are very hands-on.
Yeah.
Luckily, I live in another country than the others, so I don't have to help to build.
Yeah.
I flew in for rehearsals. And did the fun part of being part of writing the story for it.
Yeah.
No, but the thing is that it's been something we wanted to do for a long, long time. The whole one take thing, there are a couple of music videos like that we are big fans of, and we just wanted to pull that off. For instance, Torn Apart was supposed to be a one take at some point during the stages of development. Then that didn't work out, and we did it in a different way anyway. So that had been with us for a long time. But all in all, once there was a script and once we knew what to do, that planning and the back and forth and phone conferences and so whatever, then it was a couple of weeks,
Yeah.
with wardrobe people, casting. But I don't know, I flew in
That's
for
still pretty
rehearsals.
quick, though, for like all of that.
Yeah, we are very ambitious and don't sleep.
That's awesome, though. At least you put your heart and soul into it. What was the experience like? Did you enjoy doing the one take? Is it something you'd like to do again, or is it just...
No, we won't do it. I enjoyed it, but now we have done that.
So now it's next thing.
On to the next thing. Like New Land is completely different from that, for instance. So
Well, that's cool because it has all the animation in it as well.
And Night Never Ending in between was also something completely different. It's always trying to think of a different thing to do. Like same goes with our songs. Like once we've written, we don't have a Let It Burn Part 2 on the albums that have followed Black Walls. That song exists, and now we want to write songs that don't exist yet.
Yeah. So from your music videos to your stage shows, it's just great to see that you guys have like a real knack for the detail that goes into the whole visual thing. Everything's visually stunning.
Thank you.
So I was just wondering, is that something that has always been part of the Avatar plan? Because I know the costumes didn't really come until the 4th album.
Exactly. No, well, in the back of our minds and the fact what kind of bands we liked and stuff, there was somewhere a bit of that always, but it's just that vision didn't really come until later. Like, oh, we want to do something cool. That we said since day one, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But what that cool thing was, we didn't quite know,
So it kind of clicked.
So yeah, exactly. And with the Black Walls was the first time it clicked everything, because it's you cannot just put any kind of music with any kind of people, dress them in any kind of way, and just here you go is an image, and then that's when you get stupid gimmicky crap bands.
Yeah.
It has to be something very real, and it all has to fit together. And I think what happened around Black Walls, like, okay, we had a couple of good ideas in a row, but more than that is that we started to consider everything art, instead of like, oh, here's some music and then we need an image,
Yeah.
Here's some music and then we need to look cool. Now suddenly, because I dressed up like a clown for that video shoot of the song Black Walls, it fell into place, this sensation, oh, wait a minute, this is what our music looks like. And that has been the journey since then, to visualize instead of trying to do something cool. Like, what our way of reasoning when we were 16.
Yeah.
Now is about visualizing the music. And when everything fits and everything feels right, it ends up being pretty cool as a bonus.
Yeah, that's what I really like, is that everything kind of like fits together. It's not like tossed together like some other.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Lots of bullshit going on.
One thing I really admire about you guys is how hardworking you are, because not only are you hands-on with like music videos and stuff like that, at Houston Open Air, you guys did a free show when it got stormed out.
Yeah.
So that was really cool. So whose idea was that, or like how did that come about? And was it hard putting it together in such a short time? Because it was like the next day on your day off.
The initiative, of course, was John's, the drummer. He's a miserable fool. No, he doesn't know how to relax. He in his downtime now, he's programming. That's just to say the most. So it came from him, but we were all on board, of course. with it, and it just logistically worked because the day after we did play Houston, I think, and our driver could make it with us staying, and we had a day off. We were supposed to have a day off the day after the festival, so everything worked out in a way that it made sense, and then it just felt like a great thing to do, and I'm glad we did because. Many shows when you tour like this, they kind of blend together a bit.
Yeah.
Like I never remember a venue until I enter it the next time. But that is one of those shows that stick extra in my memory for good reason. Good. So I'm glad we did.
Yeah, that's really awesome. Was it last year you guys also did all of the prominent festivals in the world's loudest month, like Carolina Rebellion and Welcome to Rockville? So what was one of your most memorable moments from that month? It just all kind of blends together.
Yeah, no, I'm glad to see in general just the festivals in the new world are starting to learn how to be festivals because being European, we have a long culture of what we think are cool festivals, even though it kind of I would say started here when I think of Woodstock and stuff.
Yeah.
But now in the modern time, they are starting to get a certain atmosphere to them and personality and all those important things. So I'm enjoying U.S. festivals more and more. And today's actually our first time ever in Canada. So I cannot say anything about Canadian festivals yet.
So hopefully we'll see you at a Canadian festival sometime soon or something like that.
Yeah, I hope so too. Look, I even got a good shirt for today.
Yep. And you guys actually performed on Shiprock this year and last year. So what was it like performing on a boat, and what was the experience like overall for the whole metal cruise?
Well, this year I enjoyed it more than last year. I feel I was just able to relax and treat the off time as vacation in a more constructive manner. I went kayaking.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, but you do some of the excursions?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I went kayaking. Yeah. And those things. So no, it was good. They're also memorable shows because it is a different environment, and specifically, I got to sing Black Number One together with Kenny and Johnny from Type O Negative.
Oh, that's awesome.
And Matt from Pop Evil, who's also like me, huge Type O Negative fan.
Yeah.
So and they hadn't performed any Type O Negative stuff since Peter Steele passed away, meaning that was a crazy, intense, insane honor to do that. And so I remember that.
That's amazing. And last question to wrap things up. You guys covered a South Park song for the end of
Yes.
Flash. So I just wanted to know, who's your favorite character?
Oh, there are many. Like I have in my days watched that show so intensely, and all the trivia and stuff around it, like Star Trek convention fan level but with South Park. But of the main cast, one that has grown over the years, and I think everyone agrees, is Stan's dad, Randy.
Oh yeah.
That he's just it's the older Matt and Trey are getting, the greater character Randy becomes, it seems. And but aside from that, we are skimming through episodes randomly now on got most of the seasons with us now on tour, so rewatching some old stuff. I just remember how fantastically stupid Towley is. It's also good stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. All right, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.